Hello, it's good to see you. Today we are back for a little bit of hypothetical neighborhood gossip. It may or may not be true. I guess we'll never know. Theoretically, it might be or not. Let's see, there were a few things I wanted to mention before that. Now, I mentioned this in the video I did last night, but in case you didn't see it, I have a little mark here on my head. I'll tell you about that, and that's part of theoretically what's been going on lately. This is a new thing, though. This is not something that's been building up or anything. Okay, so yesterday, I got done with my work. I do have a day job, for those of y'all who don't know, and I'm working from home, so I finished up my work for the day. And I looked outside, and it was looking kind of cloudy, and the backyard really needed to be mowed. I needed to do the front, but there wasn't time. And my older son was going to do it, but then he had a paper he had to finish. And I said, just don't worry about it. Just forget it. I'll just get out there and do it because the backyard is pretty quick anyway. So I'm in a hurry. Now get out there. And the first thing I do whenever I mow is I go around and I'll weed eat everything first. Now I love mowing the yard, so it's not like, why do you do that? I actually like mowing the yard. It's kind of nice. You can just do your work and focus on that, and you just let your mind wander. And I come up with all kinds of ideas when I mow, so I don't mind. And it's good exercise too because it's a push mower. It is. You'd be surprised. You can get a workout from it. Okay, so I'm out there and I have the weed eater and I'm going around. Now, Buffalo Bill over here has a privacy fence, and I'd say it's about 5 feet tall. Well, not, maybe a little bit taller than that. Anyway, there's a board. There are these boards that run across the top of the privacy fence, and they're nailed into the fence. Well, I'm going along, weed eating along the fence, not looking up because there's no reason to be looking up. I'm looking down and I'm trying to hurry. Well, all of a sudden, I got beat up by a fence yesterday. Well, what had happened was one of those boards on top of the fence was sticking out into my yard, and there were nails on it. Now, theoretically, this is what's weird about it, okay? And maybe I'm just paranoid, and I went back and looked at it later. Well, it was sticking out, and I smacked into it with my forehead, and now I have a cut on my forehead. I put Neosporin on it, and it's fine. It's sore. It feels bruised. It probably is bruised because I smacked into it pretty hard. I must have been going faster than I thought. And, okay, so I was mad, and I just kind of shoved it, back out of the way. I was really mad because it really hurt. And I just kept going. I don't have time to stand here and complain about this right now. I got to get this done. I did get everything mowed, although I got wet. It started raining, and I thought it would slack up, but it just rained harder and harder. And I looked like a drowned rat by the time I got done, but I got it done. Anyway, I went out there, and the rain kind of tapered off a little bit, and I went out there to look at that board because I was still wondering how in the world did that board end up sticking out like that? That doesn't make any sense because it's nailed down. Well, hypothetically, I went out there to look at it, and I swear to you, it looked like the board had been pushed up, like it had been pulled up. There were nails still sticking out the bottom, but there were also nails sticking out this way. And that might not be weird, except that the nails that were sticking out looked new. And it was poking out into my yard. Now, I don't know why anybody would deliberately do that, but for the life of me, I do not know how that board ended up that way. I'm not saying anybody did it, but I still don't know how that board ended up like that. Anyway, I'm going to watch more carefully, and I'm going to I told my son about it, and I said, if you weed eat, don't just walk along the fence blindly like I did. And I can't even really accuse Buffalo Bill of anything because I'm telling you, he never leaves his house. It's very rare, except for 2 weekends ago, and I'll tell you about that in a minute, but I wanted to mention 2 more things first. First of all, if you live in the South where you can get it, if you can get Cheerwine where you are, Cheerwine is like this soda. It's like a cherry-flavored soda. It's not an alcoholic beverage or anything. I know when I lived in Illinois for about a year, I mentioned Cheerwine to somebody up there, and they thought I was talking about like an alcoholic thing. It's not. It's like a cherry soda. It's a very distinct flavor. Well, anyway, if you live in an area that has cheerwine, the holiday cheerwine is out. Now, I know because I was in Food Line this evening. I had to stop by there. And they had the holiday cheerwine, and it's out on a special display. It's not up on the shelf. I think it ends up there eventually, but right now it's just on this big cardboard display. So you can get the holiday cheerwine. It's like a punch kind of. It's good. It's a little sweet for my taste, but you know I like a little bit of it. It's different. It's got a nice flavor to it. But you can only get it around the holidays. They don't have it all year, but it is out now. I think it's out a little early this year. Maybe they felt sorry for us and wanted to give us a treat. I don't know. And my kids' report cards came today. Theoretically, if you have kids that are doing online school, God bless you, because I know I'm right there with you. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Hypothetically, I went to Aldi this morning because they have this comforter set out, and I wanted to show you because I love this. Now, they had it in two colors. They had one that was like a gray. I think it was gray with a white stripe in it or something. And then they had another one that was a red and gray plaid. Now, I wanted the gray and white one, but they only had it in king size. I'm actually kind of glad because I got the red and plaid and I put it on my bed. It's beautiful. Look. This is what it looks like, and it's so incredibly soft and velvety. This is the pillow sham here, and the back is gray. It's like this faux Sherpa stuff. It is so soft. Oh my goodness. And you get the full-size comforter. They had it in queen size and king size. You get the comforter and two of these pillowcases, the pillow shams here, and these are big. Usually when I get these sets, my pillows won't fit in them because these are big memory foam king size pillows, and normally they don't fit. But I was able to get it in here, and it has a zipper at the top. I'm really looking forward to it. Got my flannel sheets on the bed, got my new comforter, got my nice soft pillowcases. Look at that. So this, and for the set is $34.99 for the comforter and the two shams. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be nice. It's a little warm tonight. We have the remnants of a hurricane coming through. It's caused a lot of excitement around here today. Our power blipped on and off a few times, but it's still kind of windy out there right now. That's either wind or rain or both. That sounds like rain. It's been raining off and on all day. Yeah, I think that's rain. Oh, okay. Cheerwine, comforter. Gosh, it's pouring down rain. In my head, I wanted to tell you about that. That's it, okay, for updates, but that's not the theoretical, hypothetical stuff. I don't even know where to start. We haven't done this in a while. It was very quiet around here for a while. I mean, not much happened. It was kind of nice because it was uneventful, but then I got to start with the lady on this cross street. Now we have like grids of streets here. There's a street, just one street ahead of me, like north of here. There's this lady who lives over there. And I had never seen her before about a month ago. Maybe a month and a half ago. It was the first time I had an encounter with her. I think I mentioned her in the last update. She came down when I was outside raking my grass, before they came to plant the grass. She came down and started screaming at me about my yard and something about the homeowners association. And a lot of what she said was just gibberish. I couldn't really understand what she was screaming at me about, and it caught me off guard. Well, she has come back several times to my house, and she will stand at the end of my driveway, hypothetically, and scream at me. And she said one day that she hopes my kids and I rot in hell, hypothetically, and just screaming and shouting and screaming and shouting. And I called the police because hypothetically it was very disturbing, and I'm trying to work, and if nothing else, I can't work with somebody out there screaming at me. And she screamed at the police when they got here, hypothetically, and they told her to go home, and she went home. But then she came back. She's been back several times. Well, theoretically, I got tired of it. I said, okay, I don't know what to do with this person. I don't know what her problem is with me. I don't know her. I've never said a mean thing to her. I've never done anything to her. She got mad. She got mad because I had no grass. Then she got mad when the grass started growing. She got mad because I was out there watering it. She got mad because something about I have a wreath. She didn't like my wreath. She was screaming about the wreath one day, and it's really, theoretically, it's very odd. So I decided that I didn't have a choice. I thought, well, you're either going to have to put up with her screaming at you, because calling the police apparently is not a deterrent. This woman doesn't care. You can get a restraining order, but she's never made a threat. So I don't know if you could get a restraining order. She is harassing you, but I don't know what you can really do. And I've talked to a few people about it, hypothetically, and so anyway, I thought, okay, let's try a different approach. I've never raised my voice to this woman. I've never said a mean thing to her. I don't speak to her anymore when she comes and screams. I don't even open the door. I just don't go out. I do not engage with her at all. So the last time she did it was about a week ago. And she's at the end of she'll come all the way around. She'll walk up. She doesn't get on my property. She's at the end of the driveway, and she's screaming and just pointing at the house and screaming. I've never heard her talk at a normal tone, a normal volume. She's always screaming. So I walked out into the driveway. I didn't say anything, and she's screaming and screaming. And I said, and I lifted up my air horn. I bought an air horn, and I said, okay, you can stop screaming, or I'm going to let this air horn, I'm going to blast this air horn if you don't stop. And she keeps screaming, and then I blasted the air horn, and it seemed to scare the crap out of her when I did it, because it was really, really loud. I didn't know how loud it was going to be. I bought it on Amazon. I had not tried it. It scared the daylights out of her. I thought she was going to collapse on the ground. She was so terrified by this thing, and she starts just shrieking in horror that I had done that. I didn't yell. I just said, if you don't like that, stop screaming at my house and go home. Go away. And she left. She took off and left. And I thought, well, maybe that will work. It's good enough. So I went in the house, and she didn't come back. All right. Allegedly. It was the next day. Okay, now Miss Margaret. I know I've mentioned Miss Margaret before. She lives down the street. It's a very nice elderly lady. She lives by herself. You know, she's kind of on her own. And it's she gets lonely, I know. And so Miss Margaret had been out there planting some flowers. She put out some really pretty what are they, pansies, the ones you put them out in the wintertime. They're nice and colorful, the little flowers. And she planted them around her mailbox, and then she put some up near the house. They were really pretty, you know. And okay, this lady comes back down. I think it was the very next day. She came marching down the street, down there to Miss Margaret's house, starts screaming at Miss Margaret's house. Now, I was not aware that she had had any interactions with Miss Margaret. I do not know this lady's name. I don't know anything about her, except that she likes to scream at people. And so she runs down to Miss Margaret's house and starts screaming at her house. And it's just nonsense. Like, I don't even know what she's talking about. It's just nonsense. And she runs down there with her bare hands and just starts ripping the flowers out of the ground and throwing them into the street. She's out there at the mailbox just ripping them up and throwing them. And Miss Margaret comes out on her porch, and she's just completely freaking out. And I didn't even think. It enraged me. When I looked, I heard the commotion, because I work from home, so I'm at home, and I heard the commotion, hypothetically. And I didn't even have shoes on. I just marched down the street, and I went down there, and this was just my instinct to do this. I just started talking to her like she was one of my children doing something that they shouldn't be doing. And I did not use my quiet voice. I didn't scream, but I was I was very stern with her and told her to stop what she was doing and go away. Go away. This is a tiny woman. Miss Margaret's tiny, but this lady might be 5 feet tall. I mean, she's maybe 90 pounds. You know, I wasn't worried about her hurting me, but I was concerned for Miss Margaret because I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't touch her. I didn't get within 10 feet of her, but I went down there and I just talked to her like one of my kids. And I sound very different when I'm talking like that. I'm not going to do it now, but it's not this tone of voice at all. I can be very stern when I need to be, and it works. It's effective. I've had years of practice. So I told her to stop right now, get up, and get out of here. And she did. I think maybe using the air horn on her the day before allegedly helped. It probably did. Like, this lady means business, and she has an air horn, and she does not like the air horn. It's very loud. And I guess she didn't know if I had it with me. I didn't. I just walked down there. I didn't have anything. I just walked down there and told her to stop. So Miss Margaret was very upset, and because she was in tears. This lady left. She was scared to death. We did report it. Scared to death. Hypothetically, we reported it, and she was very upset. So she made a report. She wanted to press charges against her for damage to her property, which I totally understand. Like, she needs to at least replace my flowers because look, they're ruined. I mean, she's ruined my flower bed. So theoretically, I'm going to have to go to court. It has not gone to court, but the courts are weird right now because of COVID. They get shut down and then they'll open, and it's just odd how they're doing stuff right now. So eventually, who knows when that's going to go to court, but I'm going to go to court and testify because I witnessed it. I'm a witness to the incident, and it's like small claims court or something, hypothetically. So we're not talking about a lot of money here, but I agree that something should be done for poor Miss Margaret. I did go to Lowe's and get her some more flowers to replace them. She said I didn't have to. I said, let me do that. I can get you some more flowers. And so got her fixed back up, but she was very scared. I mean, the rest of the day, hypothetically, she didn't even want to leave her house because she was so afraid that lady would come back. And I told her, I said, you have my phone number. If she comes back and I don't see her, or I'm not aware, which I should be, but if she goes around, like, I don't know why she would do it, but like if she goes down to the end of the street and then comes up and I don't see her, call me, or call the police or call somebody. You don't have to put up with that. So that was not quite a week ago, theoretically, and I have not seen her anymore. I don't know if she knows that she's pressing charges. I don't know what she knows, but I have not seen her anymore, and I hope that I don't. But I don't want her to bother anybody around here. I mean, it's just, that's thunder. Wow. You know what was crazy earlier today, hypothetically? All right, we're going to go on over to Joe over here. Okay, so my neighbor next door, Joe. Well, okay. Scratchy 2.0 is still there. Itchy is still there. The original Scratchy is gone. She's not come back. Now, Boots is over there sometimes. I would have started this video earlier, allegedly, but Boots was out there barking his head off, just I don't know what was going on, but they had that poor dog outside in the wind and the rain. I don't know what they were trying to do. Now, earlier, Scratchy 2.0 was trying to fly a kite. Now, we've had a lot of wind here today. I actually had we had a tree blow over, not in my yard, but in Joe's yard, the house just beyond them. There was a tree in their backyard that fell over and like crashed their fence. So that sucks. We've had a lot of really strong wind here today. I had a little bit of damage to some stuff out front. I had some Halloween decorations out there that I should have brought in, but I didn't think about it. And one of them literally blew away. I literally had one blown away. I'm really ticked off about it. I had these little flamingos. They're like the pink lawn flamingos, but they're black and they have glow in the dark, like a glow in the dark skeleton painted on them. So they're like skeleton flamingos. One of them literally blew away. I don't think it was stolen because I had 5 of them out there. And I think one of them just lifted off and went away. So I have 4 now. It's ridiculous. So Scratchy 2.0 wanted to fly a kite. She was so excited. You want to fly a kite. And Boots was out there with her for a little bit. They have visitation with this dog. Lord have mercy, it's pouring. Did you? I knew that was a thing, but I've never met anybody that actually did it. They went to court to get visitation for this dog. I guess it was Joe that did it, or Itchy. I don't know. They took Scratchy to court, theoretically, to get visitation with this dog. It must be their week to have Boots, because Boots is here this week and was out there barking earlier. Scratchy 2.0 wanted to fly the kite. Well, it got torn up because the wind is ridiculous right now. You would not want to try to fly a kite because it will just get ripped out of your hands. We had gusts here of like 65 miles an hour earlier. It was crazy. It might have been more than that. I don't know. I was starting to get concerned, honestly. Like, you're sitting here and in the biggest gusts, theoretically, it almost feels like you should feel the house move a little bit and things start to creak, and it's very disturbing. It is really raining. Wow. But earlier today, the rain had tapered off a little bit, and Scratchy 2.0 was out there trying to fly a kite, and it got ripped up. And Joe, in his infinite wisdom, is out there, and I'm sure you've met people like this. They're just the resident expert on whatever is being discussed at the time. They know everything about it. So he's out there with her, and he's going, what you need to do is you need to go get the duct tape, because that'll fix that kite. And you tape it up with duct tape, it won't rip anymore. She needs to find a day it's not so windy out there. I mean, it's good to have a windy day, but you don't want to be out there in the remnants of a hurricane trying to fly a kite. So she took it in, duct taped that poor kite half to death to the point that it wouldn't fly anymore. She put so many layers of duct tape on it, it just looked like a big diamond of duct tape. She overdid it a little bit. And then she started to wonder if they could duct tape the dog to the kite and see if they could give the dog, like, do parasailing with Boots. Fortunately, that didn't happen. I felt like I was going to have to step in on that. I was not trying to eavesdrop. Theoretically, I was up here working on a video. I was editing a video, and I could hear them because they talk loud. Everybody over there is a loud talker. They have like shout-versations with each other, and they'll stand outside and just they're like this far apart, and they're just basically shouting at one another. Scratchy 2.0 does it too, and I bet she's about 20. And she shouts too. So anyway, she wanted to know, well, we could just take Boots to the kite and just let Boots take a look around town. You know, like, that's a stupid idea. Don't do that. I wonder if we should report that. Like, you don't need visitation with a dog if you're going to duct tape it to the kite. Hypothetically. And they didn't do it. So that was good. So, let's see. I also learned that Joe has a granddaughter. And his granddaughter, I don't know, she's maybe 5 or 6 years old. I've not seen the granddaughter, but she's been entered in the Pretty Pretty Princess contest. I don't know where this is, but I remember on My Name is Earl, they had a Pretty Pretty Princess contest. That was the subject of one of the episodes. And I almost wanted to ask him, is she going to get a little tractor trophy, because that was the thing that you got. It was, the contest was put on by this tractor company. And but anyway, he's got a huge sign out front. He had to take it in, I would imagine, because of the wind and rain, didn't want it to get damaged. But he's built this big sign. You know, he's fond of building big things to put outside. That's his hobby, I guess. For those of you who don't know, hypothetically, Joe over here won the lottery. I still don't know how much money it was, but he won the lottery and bought this house from his nephew and has been living over here. How long has he been living there now? About a year? Maybe? I can't remember when they moved in. It's been something all the time with them. They got to fix that fence now because it's got a tree crash through it. Well, I'm guessing the other people's insurance would have to pay for that. Anyway. So he's built this big sign that he had it out there yesterday for the Pretty Pretty Princess and had her picture on there. I don't really know if it's the best place. I mean, we don't have that much through traffic, but he was very proud of her. I don't even know how you vote. It's probably somewhere online or something. But I don't know. Bless her heart to have that man for an uncle or grandfather or whatever he is. I guess it's fine. But we've had some conversations around here about Halloween. Can you believe it's almost Halloween? I can't believe it. And what we're going to do about trick-or-treating. Now, we had a community watch meeting. This was about it was about a week ago. And everybody, all the people, well, not everybody, a lot of people will come to it. And we have it at a local restaurant. And with COVID, we have to make sure that it's on a night that the restaurant's not open. And because on Monday nights, this place isn't open. So we go and we have to sit, to discuss things about the neighborhood. And the big topic this year was trick or treat. How are we going to handle trick or treat? Well, it got very spirited, as you can imagine. I mean, some people feel that you should do it with no restrictions, and I'm not here to, pontificate on anything, but should you do it with no restrictions? Should you not do it at all? Should everybody just make up their own mind about it? Because I don't think the city has had any kind of official statement about it one way or the other. I kind of feel like if they banned it, people would just do it anyway. I mean, I don't think you could stop everybody from doing it. But people were arguing about whether or not we should do it. And I think the general consensus was, if you want to give out candy, give out candy. If you don't, then don't do it. I tend to agree with that. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. If you want to do it, there are ways you can do it. I don't want to get into the weeds on that, whatever. Some people had some interesting ideas, though, and Joe was there. He got there late. I don't know why. It's not like he has anything to do. He has no job. All he has is Itchy and Scratchy 2.0 and that dog every other week. And but he got there late, comes in, and he said, I got an idea. I tell you what you need to do. Here's how you do trick or treat, and you do it safe. And I'm sitting here, oh God, what? He said, out in my truck, I've got a t-shirt cannon. I think you know where that's going. So he said, here's what you do. You put the candy in bags and you just shoot it out of that t-shirt cannon. He took us out in the parking lot to demonstrate it. Well, he accidentally had it set on stadium, and he launched a packet of candy all the way over into this parking lot at a church nearby. They have a pumpkin patch over there, and there were kids over there picking out pumpkins, and they thought it had fallen from the sky, and you just know one of them had been praying for something, and that landed in the parking lot. It's probably changed their whole view on religion or something. We didn't bother going over there. He was just like, okay, maybe I need to change the settings on this gun before Halloween. I don't want to, knock some kid's head off with this thing. So what he's planning to do theoretically is he's going to stand on his porch and just shoot the candy to him out on the street. So that should be interesting. Hypothetically, we have designed a chute. I gave this to my son because he loves to do stuff. He loves to come up with ideas. I said, can you design for me a chute that, like I could stand here and make it at least, 10 feet long, and put it at an angle so I can drop, do a little packet of candy, however, and then have it slide down and then have them stand at the end and, have it drop in their bag. I thought it'd be fun. So he designed one. We went and got some PVC pipe, hypothetically. And I have a ladder, so we just got a ladder. It's pretty crude, but I think it'll work. Got a ladder, set it up, had it, at an angle going down. This length of pipe, I think, is 12 feet. And I just left it at that. And then at the bottom down here, we have it sitting on top of a tote, like a plastic tote. And then I have towels kind of positioned on either side where it won't slide. It's not set up right now, but we tried it the other day, theoretically. So we're going to be doing that. But I think all the kids are going to be more excited, hypothetically, to go see Joe shoot the candy out of the t-shirt cannon. I'm kind of curious to see that myself. I did get to see it the other day at the meeting. It was very odd. There were these two women that almost got into a fight. I thought they were gonna get into fisticuffs. I really did. There'd be Michael Kors bags and Starbucks flying everywhere. But they were fighting over whether or not to do trick or treat. And one of them was like, yes, you can. No, you can't. Yes, you can. They were face to face. And I'm like, social distancing. You're breathing right near each other's face. This is the weirdest year I've ever experienced in my life. Every time I turn around, there's something else. It just makes me go, 2020, man, I swear I don't understand this year. We had to break them up, hypothetically, tell them to go to separate corners, quit talking to one another, and they both agreed. It's a stalemate. They both agreed. If you do it, I'll never talk to you again. Well, if you don't do it, I'll never talk to you again. So childish. I don't know how to feel about it, hypothetically. So I guess people are just going to do what they want to do. I got it all planned out. You know, I'll be the only one that touches the candy. I will wash my hands. I'll even put on gloves. I got a whole box of gloves downstairs. Put on some gloves, and I'll put the candy in just individual little bags, like little baggies, you know, and seal it up, and then just send it down to chute, and they can stand down there. I don't even know how many trick-or-treaters there will be. Normally, we get a fair amount here. We get a decent number of trick-or-treaters because they just go from one street to the other, and, you know, there are a lot of kids, not right here, but in the area. So I'm kind of curious to see how it goes. I'm going to have my costume on. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to stay here. There's really nowhere to go. I mean, nobody's doing anything. Most of the churches around here aren't even doing the trunk or treat, which a lot of the churches do. And if you don't know what a trunk or treat is, I don't like that name. I don't know why. I just don't like it. But that's where the church members will decorate, like they'll put their trunk up and they'll have all kinds of decorations in there. Like if you have an SUV or whatever, you go park in the parking lot in a line or in a circle or however you want to do it, and you decorate your trunk with all kinds of Halloween decorations, and the kids just go from car to car and, you know, with their costumes on and get candy, and then they'll do like a little costume contest, and they'll have games and prizes and stuff, and that's a trunk or treat. So a lot of people prefer to do that over going to people's houses. A lot of those aren't even going to happen this year. Normally they do them like the weekend before Halloween. So on Halloween night, the kids are free to do whatever they want to do. But I heard of one trunk or treat this year, and normally around here there would be probably 20. I think I heard of one church that was doing it. So I'm kind of curious to see how Halloween goes this year. I have no idea. I got candy, and we'll just see. We'll just see if we get to give it out or not. If not, I guess we'll just be eating candy for a while. I don't have an office to go to leave it in the break room anymore, so I don't know what I'm going to do with all that candy. Hopefully we'll be able to give it away. So what else do I have? The lady up there, Joe and them. I almost forgot the dudes in trucks. Lord, I can't forget that. It's allergies. My throat has just been messed up. It's not the Rona, it's just goldenrod. Every year when the goldenrod starts to bloom, I get messed up. Okay, and it's everywhere around here. The dudes in trucks. Okay, now last time I talked to you about them, they were down that way. Did I tell you they were near the creek? They were. And when they left, now they were putting little orange flags and strings to the hole that they had dug down near the creek. All that went away. There was never an explanation as to what it was for. They didn't do anything to the road or anything. Now they are redoing the sidewalks, but I don't think that has anything to do with what the dudes in trucks were doing, because they weren't really near the sidewalks. They're working on replacing some sidewalks on that street and the one behind me. It's to the south. And I guess we just don't get anything. So, okay, where they were, they left this big cap, like you put over a whale, you know, not a whale, W-H-A-L-E, W-E-L-L, whale, I can't say it any other way, where you get water, not the mammal in the ocean, whale, W-E-L-L. They put the big cement cap that, sealed up. They put that on there, and then they went away. They are now, hypothetically, for some reason, they're back where they started, but they're on the other side of the road. Now see, they were in this big field for a long time. They had this huge hole out there, and at first I thought it was like a sinkhole or something, but they were going way down in that hole, And the guys would stand around. There'd be 20 or 30 of them just standing around that hole, looking in the hole, drinking coffee, talking to one another. And then they'd be out there at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. They'd stay till about 4 in the afternoon, and then they all had trucks. There'd just be trucks lined up and down the road, dudes in trucks. They'd get in their trucks and go away. And I never got an explanation as to what that was. All they would tell me was that they were with the pipeline. And that was what one of them said. We're with the pipeline, ma'am. And that's all I ever got. If I tried to ask any more questions, they would just kind of dismiss me and just, they wouldn't answer anymore. Well, now they're back, but they're on the other side of the road from where they started. And I don't know, but it almost looks like they're getting ready to dig another hole. The weird thing, and I mentioned this before, hypothetically, you know where they started? When they left there, it looked like they had never been there. It was really weird. You know how you have that old dried broom straw that, it dries out? It's raining hard again. It covered the entire field like that hole had never been there. If I were to take a picture of it now, you go, why are you showing me a picture of this field? There's nothing. Why are you showing me that? Well, they're now on the other side, and they've got backhoes out there. I think, and excavators, and I think theoretically they're getting ready to dig another hole on the other side of the road. There are not as many of them out there, but they're out there every day. They were not out there today. I don't know if it's because of the weather or what it was. They were not out there today, but theoretically there were about 15 of them out there yesterday, because I had to go by there on the way to the post office, and there they were. And I recognized a few of them, because this one guy has very distinct long red hair, and he was out there. And so it was them. It's the same dudes in trucks, but it's only about half of them. And they're out there with the equipment. Now, they're not on the equipment. The funny thing is, they're all just standing there. They're just standing there like they're waiting for somebody, which I guess they are. They're not doing anything with the equipment. They don't appear to be doing anything, period. They just have their trucks parked along the road, and they're just standing out in the middle of this field in the broom straw out there. I don't know if they're going to cut it for hay or what they're doing. It's just out there. And so I went by there on the way to the post office, and I thought, well, that was weird. They're back, but they're on the other side of the road. It was the first time I'd seen it. And I thought, that's strange. And I went back by probably 30 minutes later, and they're still all just standing there, drinking coffee, got their hard hats on. They're just standing in the middle of the field. Equipment sitting around, nobody doing anything with it. They were obviously waiting for somebody. I mean, I'm assuming they were waiting for somebody to get there or for something to happen. Maybe they were waiting for the spaceship to land. I don't know anymore, hypothetically. I don't get these people. I almost stopped. I came really close to just like, they're not doing anything. Let me just pull off the road and go ask them, what in the world, what are y'all doing standing out here in this field, theoretically? Why are you out here? What is this? What? Y'all been hanging around here for months doing stuff around my neighborhood, and I want to know what the heck you're doing. And don't just tell me you're with the pipeline. Hypothetically, I want to know what you're doing. Tell me something. I mean, I think I deserve to know. I didn't know. I chickened out. I just, because, in my mind, I start playing through all these scenarios. Like, well, they could beat you up. They could, do the Men in Black thing and erase your memory, or some X-Files bunch of stuff. I don't know. So I didn't do it. I said, let me just go. I'm just going to go home and forget about it. So they're back out there. Now before there were things out there. You had porta potties. They had a bunch of pallets out there at one point. They had stacks of bricks out there. At this point, there's nothing out there at all. They all just convened in this field, parked their trucks along the side of the road, and the dudes are just standing there. And it's not all the dudes. It's just a portion of the dudes with their trucks. And they all have a truck. They all have a pickup truck. I think it's a rule that if you're one of these dudes, you cannot have a sedan, you cannot have an SUV, you cannot have a Jeep. You have to have a truck. Got to have a pickup truck. And it's got to be big. Maybe with some extra lights on it or something. I don't know. They breed them somewhere. I don't know where these people come from, but so that's very odd, allegedly, to me. I was kind of hoping they were gone when they sealed off the thing down there by the creek, because, like I say, they weren't around for a while. They disappeared. Now they're just all of a sudden, just like that, they're back again. They're like mushrooms. They just pop back up. You think they're gone? No, they're not. So that's basically it. That's very interesting. So I'm curious to see what comes of that. Oh, Buffalo Bill, I almost forgot. I can't believe I almost forgot this. Okay, hypothetically, I am very happy right now because I got rid of my old mattress. I'm ashamed to tell you how long I had this mattress. Okay, let's just say it's older than both of my kids. And that's terrible, but it was a good mattress. It slept well. It didn't, it was very comfortable. I know they say you were supposed to replace it, but it was great. I had no problem with it. But then it got to where I noticed that when I woke up in the mornings, like my knees were sore, like my joints were achy. And I almost felt like it was the mattress. Like, it's not as comfortable as it used to be. So I want to get rid of it. I want to get another one. And I ended up getting a really nice, I got a super awesome 10-inch memory foam mattress on Amazon. It was only $270, but it's fantastic. I love it. It doesn't get hot. It stays cool. It's not super firm, but it's not soft. It's just perfect. And I'm a side sleeper, so it's perfect. I love my new mattress. I'm so happy with my new mattress. I sleep so much better. I don't toss and turn like I did before. It's great. I'm very happy with my mattress. But the old mattress, the only thing I hate, I've had to move this mattress 6 times. I counted it up. I've had to move it. I've moved in my entire life. I've had to move 21 times. I should tell you the whole story of all the 21 times I've had to move. It's exhausting. I don't want to move anymore. I'm so sick of moving. I'm a pro at it because I've had to do it so many times. I've had to move this mattress 6 times. And it's a great mattress, but it is super heavy. And the mattress was like this thick. It was like that. Ridiculous, And it's very, very heavy and very, very floppy. And it has no handles, and there is just no good way to pick this thing up. It would be like trying to juggle a giant squid. I mean, it's big and floppy and heavy, and there is just no good way to move this thing. So I told my son, my older son, I said, okay, let's get it out of here. Let's get it down to the street. Because if you take it down there, we have recycle day every other week. There's one day every other week that we have recycle day. And if you have bulk trash like a mattress, if you put it down there on recycle day, they'll pick it up and take it, or they're supposed to. And on the city's website, it said we'll take mattresses on your recycle day. Just have them out there by the curb by 7 a.m. So we wrestled that thing out of here. I hurt my shoulder, I hurt my knee, and my ankle I just messed myself up trying to get this thing out of here because it's big, floppy, and heavy. And there are no handles. Why are there no handles on these mattresses? A handle would have made such a difference. But anyway, so we get it out there. We took it out there late the night before. I said, let's just get it out there. Take the box spring out there and the mattress. Just take it. And the bed frame I have is made for this kind of bed, so I don't need a box spring. It's fabulous. I love my bed so much. I love it so much. So we get it out there, and I said, I'm never touching this mattress again. If they don't pick it up, I will pay somebody to come move it. I am never, ever, ever moving that stupid thing again. We basically ended up rolling it through the yard. Like we couldn't hold it, and we were both just like, screw it. We just started just flipping it end over end to get it out to the curb. There's just no other way to do it. And so I was really hoping that they would pick it up. Well, they did. They did later, fortunately. But they didn't come until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was really worried. I was starting to think they weren't going to do it. But I saw something weird that morning, allegedly. So I heard Buffalo Bill come home. I think whatever he does, he started working at night, and he's at home during the day. And I heard him come home and slam his door, and I heard him outside talking, which I never really have heard him talk, except that one time he said I had nice hair, which totally freaked me out, allegedly. I hear him talking, and so I got my window right here, and I pull the curtains back, and I kind of bent the blinds down, and I'm just looking. He's on his phone talking to somebody. and he's walking down the street toward my trash cans, my trash can, my recycle bin, and the mattress and the box spring. And he's just talking to somebody, allegedly. And then he starts looking around. He does like this right here. He's standing in front of my mattress, and he does like this. And then he walks over to the mattress, and he starts massaging the mattress while he's talking to somebody on the phone. He's like caressing and massaging the mattress. And he's just talking away to somebody on the phone as he massages my mattress. I said, that's nasty. Oh, dear God. So I'm looking out the window like, that's gross. That is somebody else's mattress. That's nasty. And I slipped. I had my elbow here on the bed, and I slipped, and my hand hit the window. It like banged on the window, and he looked up, and he saw me. And he immediately just skittered on up the road. He looked like Mr. Bean. If you've ever seen the Mr. Bean skit where he's at the pool when the guy yells at him to get off the slide, and he kind of goes running away. He looked like Mr. Bean, just skittering back up to his house. And I guess he went on inside. I didn't see him anymore, but I really wish I hadn't seen that. Allegedly. Do you ever just see stuff sometimes and think, I could have lived the rest of my life without having seen that? I did not need to know that you did that. I could have, if I had not heard you talking, I wouldn't have looked outside and I wouldn't have known, and that would have been for the best, probably. Allegedly. So he is over there, and now he has somebody else staying there. And I want to ask, if you live in Georgia, I have a question for you. I don't know what this is, okay? There's this Buffalo Bill has somebody staying at his house, and they're driving a blue minivan, which I've never seen before. Maybe it's a family member. Or maybe it's his dead parents, allegedly. I don't know. I still say something happened to his parents because it was their house. And then he came to live there, hypothetically. And then one day his parents were just gone. And the house was empty for a couple of months. Nobody was there. And then one day he shows back up in one of his parents' cars. But the whole side is bashed in. His parents had identical sedans. The same color, same year, everything. They were identical. I don't know whose car he was driving, allegedly, but he came back in one of their cars, and the whole side of it was bashed in, like the passenger side at the back was completely bashed in. He's still driving that car. Anyway, that has nothing to do with this. But, so there's this blue minivan that's been over there for several days. It has a Georgia plate on the back, but it looks like a specialty plate of some type, and we have those here in North Carolina where you can get different types of specialty plates. It has a grizzly bear on it, or it looks like a grizzly bear. I don't know what kind of plate that is. I just thought that was weird. I didn't know y'all had. Do you have specialty plates? Because it's a Georgia plate, but it has a grizzly bear on it, like off to the side, and then the numbers are here, and the bear is like here, like that. It's just odd. I've never seen a Georgia plate like that, so that's very strange. So yeah, he massaged my mattress before they came to take it away, and I really wish I didn't know that, and now you know it. Sorry. Hypothetically. Maybe he sabotaged the board as payback. It's embarrassment because I saw him doing that. I don't know why he would, because usually my son is the one that mows, not me. So I don't know how that happened. It's very strange, though. Somebody ripped that board up. It was nailed down, and it had been ripped up and pushed out into my yard where it was sticking out away from the fence, which caused that because I wasn't looking up. I was looking down as I came along with the weed eater. Yeah, it's very strange. I don't know. I don't like him. He gives me a very odd, uncomfortable vibe. Something strange about that guy. So anyway, that is all I have for you for my hypothetical gossip. It has been interesting. I'm sure Halloween night is going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that wherever you are, that you're doing okay. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again really soon.